There, I did it right this week.
For more info, visit rabbitandredradio.com.
For more info, visit rabbitandredradio.com.
No one cares. Nobody cares.
Oh my goodness! Here we are again, Normal.
Finally.
Yeah, it's been a minute, man. And today we have a special guest, Flat Earth Dave Weiss. How you doing, sir?
Doing all right. Just losing my voice a little bit, but par for the course.
Yeah, I got you. Well, everybody's got allergies around this time and getting over stuff. So, but thanks for coming on and talking with us for a bit about what you do and. I believe, I guess you have a couple of books. I know you have a podcast, I guess a YouTube channel as well. I mean, I guess fill us in on what you do and what's on.
You can find all my stuff at flatearthdave.com. All my links are there to my channels and podcasts. Excuse me. And my app. And I talk to people like you that think Flat Earth is the dumbest thing on Earth. But anybody that listens to me, they realize they don't know why they think you live on a ball. Let's ask you a couple questions. And by the way, I'm not picking.
All right. No. Go ahead.
I didn't know any of these answers when I was asked.
No, go ahead. Ask away. Ask whatever question.
What's the circumference of the globe?
I have no idea.
How fast is it spinning at the equator?
Don't know.
How fast is it orbiting the sun?
Cody, you have glasses on. You should know this.
How fast is the sun moving?
Man, you're asking some questions I'm not ready to answer.
But see, this is the point. And by the way, I was you guys. So you guys laugh at Flat Earth, but one, you don't know what Flat Earth is, and worse is you don't even know what your own solar system is.
Well, I do want to say something real quick. I'm not laughing at Flat Earth at all. Actually, whenever we booked you, I went in and I started watching different videos. I even saw it was kind of like a con for Flat Earthers to go to. And I think I really think that if someone thinks different than me, I don't think that it's funny or crazy. I find it interesting, and that's why I was, hey, he's coming on. I want to hear what you got to say. Not everybody that's not hardcore Flat Earther is against anybody or think they're stupid or it's funny.
I used to think Flat Earthers were stupid, and I thought they were funny, and I thought they were idiots. And
I don't. I have an open mind, but go ahead.
If you believe in that, so here's the thing. I'm going to point out what your model is. So your globe is spinning at 1,000 miles an hour. So when you watch the sunset, the sun's not just going away like you see it. You're falling over backwards faster than the speed of sound. You're orbiting the sun at 66,500 miles an hour, and you're chasing the sun at over close to 500,000 miles per hour. Okay? So let's put these into reference. Let's see what that looks like. So this is the hypersonic tread slack. How come you can't see me? What happened?
Oh, we see it.
Did you see me? There I am.
Oh, no, I just see the video. There we go. Okay, go ahead.
This is going by a Mach 8.6. Now watch this. You can't even see it. You have to believe that we're orbiting the sun, speeding up and slowing down, 10 times faster than this, and we're chasing the sun at 100 times faster than this. But somehow when we go outside and we look at water, it's perfectly calm. It's perfectly flat. It's a mirror reflection of the sky above, right? How do you have that on a spinning, oscillating, whirling, twirling, vibrating, corkscrewing Earth, moving in all these directions? Now, Neil deGrasse Tyson, the failed actor that everybody says is a scientist, he says that the water bulges at the equator due to the spin. Well, hey, that makes sense. If you believe in gravity and the spinning ball and the spin, well, if it's bulging at the equator, Why isn't it sloshing around here? Get a dinner plate, fill it with water to the edge, and try to walk across the room. Try to take a ride in a car with it. Just try to move. The water's going to slosh all over the place. Perfectly still lakes show that we live in a still environment. Now, what is holding this water together? What is holding the water? Well, the water has a container. The container is the shoreline. The shoreline that surrounds these waters is the container. It's the land that's higher than the water. So what is the flat earth? We're not a disk floating in space. The world, the world's oceans are like a pond. A pond has sides to it. It has the sides of the pond, the container, are higher than the water. Now they tell us Antarctica is a continent at the bottom of the ocean. They tell us this is Antarctica at the bottom of the world. Sorry, all right, this is Antarctica, and it's the highest land on Earth. I always thought that was weird, but in reality, this is Antarctica. Antarctica is the shoreline of our world pond. It is the higher land that is containing our pond. Large bodies of water at rest lay flat, and they need a container. And if you don't believe me, take away the container and watch what happens to the water. It goes away. So this is Antarctica. We live in the Antarctic basin. We don't live on a ball spinning through an infinite, impossible vacuum in space. How do we have a high pressure earth, water on the outside, upside down, spinning, twirling, whirling, air adjacent to a vacuum? That breaks every law of physics that there is. Second law of thermodynamics says that you can't have high pressure next to low pressure. Forget a friggin' vacuum, ultra zero pressure, without a container. They're lying to us about everything. And once you see this, and today's your lucky day, by the way. Today, just an hour or two ago, a new documentary was just released, and I'll show you where to find it. And
okay, yeah,
and it's all whistleblowers in the Army, in the Navy, in the Air Force, all sorts of whistleblowers, and they let it out. It just came out, so expect the power to go out, the internet to go down, and the great reset to happen, because it is now. This video will wake anyone up, and you're going to watch it when we're done.
No, definitely. I would like to check it out. I'm gonna go to our chat real quick. I like to talk to people or see what everybody's saying in our chat. Morgan Wellborn, awesome guy. This will be interesting. Yes. Joey T, one of our own. He said Dave kicked Brian Callen's ass in Conspiracy Social Club.
Oh, I did.
And let's see. John spelt weird. John Cena. Anyway,
yeah,
it's one of the trolls. It's one of the trolls.
Oh, I have trolls that follow me.
Thanks, trolls.
And Lonesome Lenny, how's it going, sir? Thank you for joining us again. No, I was watching a video. I found it very interesting. So instead of a globe, like you just showed the picture, that's still behind you, but it's kind of like, I guess, like a little snow shaker. It's just a barrier that goes around, and then that's what I guess flat earthers believe. What we see, that explains the globe-like effect, I guess, of the sky, like how you see it all round.
Which video are we talking about?
I'm just saying, I found a video online, and I was watching about flat Earth convention, and they were talking about it, and that's what they were saying.
So if you Googled flat Earth, you ended up with a propaganda video, and lots of them, they had, mainstream media at our events, and they basically, took the craziest people and edited them together and, misconstrued things. Some of the videos are okay, but most of the stuff they put out there kind of make flat Earth look stupid. A little bit of truth, a lot of stupidity. You Google flat Earth, you end up at the Flat Earth Society. The Flat Earth Society is a government-run website to make you think flat Earth is stupid. Make you think that we're a disc in space. Make you, they come up with all sorts of nonsense. Flat Earthers believe gravity is because the Earth is rising up at 9.8 meters per second. No flat Earther believes that. Just globe believers and globe believers, as I just showed you, have no idea what their model is. You didn't know any of the motions, any of the sizes. How far is the sun? I didn't know any of these. How far is the sun? 93 million miles away. Okay. That's an impossibility. Go outside during the day. Look at the sun. It's right there. It's right
Mhm.
there. You know what the sun is? Let me show you what the sun is. The sun is
Well, it's a star.
you were told it's a star, but a star is a burning ball of gas in a space vacuum. Well,
Mhm.
that's not even a possibility. Okay, you can't have burning ball of gas in a space vacuum. This is a balloon at 120,000 feet. The sun is right here. Look at the hot spot on the ground, right? Look at how it lights up locally. If the sun is 93 million miles away, how come it's lighting up this area more than it's lighting up this area? And when we send balloons up, they can only get up to about 127,000 feet, and that's it.
Mm.
And they never go under the sun. The sun's always off to the side, and the moon looks like a tiny speck in the sky. All right,
So
interesting.
what do you no it is what do you think about all these billionaires and celebrities that go into space right now? And granted, I understand they're going outside the atmosphere and not actually like going all the way into space, but what do you think about all that? And why aren't they, I guess, talking about, they're just saying they're going to space? But go I wanted to get your take on that.
Yeah. So let me ask you a question. You ever go to a marathon or carnival or any big event?
Mm-hmm.
What's one thing they always have there? And you might not think of it off the top of your head, but they always have EMS workers there in case somebody gets hurt, right?
Yeah.
I ran a school fair every year, and we had to have an EMS truck there. That was part of the town requirement. And so when you're slingshotting a 94-year-old man into space who's crashing into the desert, what's the first person that you greet them? Okay, here's
Yeah.
William Shatner, Captain Kirk, the broke actor, coming in on this fake parachute. Now watch this. Watch this. He slams into the friggin' desert floor.
Okay.
Slams, right? Boom, right? And so he was just shot into space, slammed into the desert floor. All of a sudden, a bunch of cars, excuse me,
It's okay.
a bunch of cars come out there,
Mm-hmm.
and let me just jump this forward a little bit. And look, they get there, they roll out the red carpet, and everyone comes out. A couple of reporters, Jeff Bezos, the liar, okay? A couple of people, no EMS workers, no one's checking anyone else
Yeah.
out, okay? That's absolute insanity,
So, and
right?
that slammed pretty hard too. You think
That
it would
slam super hard, man.
I mean, even if they're buckled in, you think it would give them some sort of kind of whiplash effect, right?
Here he comes. This
That's
thing is
nuts.
falling out of the sky.
Wow.
Right? Watch this. Right? And the whole thing is fake also. And he doesn't land on a bush. He lands. You see that's impact? I think I
Yeah.
would break my back.
No shit.
Yeah.
Wow, that is nuts. For the audio listeners, we gotta share that video because I know some people listen to us on audio, but I mean, just it's like a humongous freaking dust cloud, man.
And then
Like-
the other thing is when they were in space, this isn't even, they could do this stuff like in a 0G plane to get 0G. This is done in a studio. Shatner's kneeling in the background. These guys are hanging from wires and they have CGI objects floating around. It's called augmented reality. They move like, oh, there's a potato chip, and they're just floating around, and they only show them for like 5 or 10 seconds at a time, right? If you watch the what's it where is that one? When Richard Branson went into space, here, let me show you that one. When Richard
don't get me
Branson went
started
in,
on that guy.
they were up there for 4.5 minutes of weightlessness,
Uh-huh.
and they only show 5 seconds at a time. What's going on here? I'll tell you what's going on. This is them just this guy flipping around. This is the guy.
Yeah, is that guy in the yellow
no,
shirt actually there?
No. He just took this and added himself, just showing you how stupid it is. Right?
Oh, okay.
They're in
I
a
was like,
zero G
that's weird.
plane, and they did a couple of flights, and they edited the footage together. Edit. 5 seconds is all they show. And when you're in a zero G plane, you know what zero G plane is? It goes up, it does a parabolic arc, and you get 20 to 40 seconds of weightlessness. So you float around while the plane is taking this parabolic arc, and these people are on an airplane floating, right? That's all they did here. That's all they did. And people friggin' eat this shit up, okay? This is all complete and total nonsense, right? And then if you really start looking, into the space station, you'll see that it's all CGI tricks. Look at this guy's head; it's transparent. Look, I can see through his head when he first came on, because they're on again. He's on a 0G plane, and look, his head is transparent. They faded him into the scene. These guys, this is one of my favorites. So these guys in the foreground, they're talking, they're passing the microphone back and forth. The guy's flipping his hat around, and then way, way, way in the background, this guy goes floating by. So I zoomed in.
Yeah,
I zoomed in, and you can see his harness. Right, this guy's hanging from a harness.
Oh,
at
wow.
his waist. You can see the harness, and the high resolution, you can see the wire. Okay, and then the NASA fanboys come back and go, "Oh, that's because they use harnesses to be safe." They need that. Doesn't even make sense in a zero gravity, right? So now look, this guy's flipping his hat around. I'm flipping it back and forth. In the script, he's supposed to hand this CGI hat, and I'll explain how that is, to this guy, and he's supposed to put it on the shelf, and he moves his right hand, and he thinks he's passing him the hat, so he takes it and he puts it away. Oops. And then he realized he missed it. I'm just looping it here. Okay. And he like freaks out. He's like, oh, and they're like stumbling their words, or like, he's like, oh shit, he missed it. Okay. He missed the script.
Oh,
crazy, wow. Right?
What do you think, Normal Cody? You hadn't talked much, and I hate to leave.
Let me just
over here. Me too.
This ball is filled with helium. It's a real ball. This thing is a virtual reality. Look, it's not there. Now it's there. And now she can manipulate it. It's called augmented reality. It's where they take virtual objects, and she either has contacts in her eyes or looking at a screen behind the camera, and she can see where things are, and she can move them in real time. All right. And that's what they're showing us. They no longer do live broadcasts very much from the space station, unless they're talking to kindergartners, because people like me, people like other people are tripping them up, and they also have issues. They have many issues where things just don't work out, and they don't know how to cover them up.
That's insane. I mean, it's crazy to see these videos.
Watch this guy go around the corner. His elbow becomes transparent before he goes around the corner. This shows you that what's going on. I'll zoom in on it. I'm equating it to Wimpy eating his burger, and every time he bite, it disappears.
Like, what's Wimpy doing there?
It disappeared. Look, his elbow becomes transparent. Here's a close up. Watch this thing on the wall. Look, you see the thing on the wall. You can see right through his body.
Oh, wow.
Okay? And the globe, fanboys go, oh, it's because of cosmic rays. What do you think? Film is going to work well up there. Give me a friggin' break. Okay. They'll make up excuses for anything, right? And this happens again and again and again. This guy drops the ball, and this guy tries to get it and can't get it because his harness won't let him. And why did the ball go down?
Yeah.
It's 0G. Okay.
Wow, this is after seeing this, I'm gonna cancel. Lonesome Lenny, don't cancel your Amazon account. They have some good shows on there. Even though actually Jeff Bezos already made his money, dude. Canceling it ain't gonna hurt him any bit. I mean, I think he sold it, didn't he?
I agree. But
I mean, go ahead.
Now these guys are in different rooms, right? He's gonna sing, and the other guy's holding a microphone, and he sticks it right into his neck. He misplaces where he is. It's inside his neck. And the Globe Trolls, who just made a video recently going, it's compression, with all the cosmic rays, the digital formatting. It's like you can make up excuses. I could be a globe. I could be a flat earth troll. It's so easy. You just say anything and pretend it's real. I mean, you have to be a complete and total idiot to believe any of this stuff. One time, Don Pettit, the brightest of the bright ones, he was showing how he took a plastic wrapper they had, taped it together, and he could pour coffee in it, and he's drinking coffee out of it. But watch what happens. The coffee gets out of sync with the bag.
Oh.
The coffee gets out of sync. It gets out of sync.
Oh, wow.
Okay? Just showing you that they're faking everything. Then they have shills like Will Smith talking to the astronauts, asking them stupid questions, and then when the astronaut's always done, they always fade away, right? They go, oh, wait, where's he going? There is no friggin' left-hand turn here. So he's on the space station, right? There's no up. But watch when he comes in, he fades. He faded. He became transparent, right? So watch again. Watch his. I think it's his head. You can see right through his head. Yeah, look, he's transparent right there. Okay.
Wow.
And they're just showing you this is just trickery. I can do this stuff. I can float on the space station, right? And I don't have, you know what NASA's budget is? Probably don't even know that either. $63 million a day. A day. Okay. $63 million a day for what?
Yeah. Well, I mean, they got some David Copperfield stuff here going on. That's what it looks like to me. You know, whenever they always did the magician stuff, they made a big spectacle out of it. And I can see where, all the stuff that you're pointing out, I'm seeing it on video. And I wouldn't put it past them to do the theatrics on all this. I don't, because it's like, hey, look at what we did. Especially the moon landing. I always make this joke, who was the first man on the moon? And everybody says the answer. And I said, no, it's the cameraman. How did they get who set that up? You always see him and he comes out and he's
Never thought of that.
I recently saw a photograph of the first camera ever built.
Yeah. It was a monster. It had to be.
Right. It was a giant camera, but it was a photograph of the first camera ever built. What'd they take the photograph with? Okay, that's how stupid we are. That's how stupid this whole thing is. Here's the thing, and we're gonna go through a lot more proofs. But if you can be lied to about where you live, about your position in the Earth system, not the universe, that if you can be lied to who you are, about who you are, where you are, what you are, you can be lied to about anything. You are clay in their hand. If you're spinning out of control, lost in space, afraid of nuclear bombs, which don't exist, by the way, afraid of running out of food, afraid of running out of dinosaur juice, okay? That's what we run our cars on, dinosaur juice. Give me a friggin' break, right? All of that is nonsense. It's lies. There's no overpopulation. There's no shortage of food, water, energy. There's free energy everywhere, okay? But they stole that from us. And this lie isn't 2,000 years old, right? This lie is less than 100 years old, right?
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard the term the Great Reset?
Yes.
Well, we're just coming out of a reset, okay? And we're going into another one, right? The world wars were part of the reset where they destroyed the old world. They didn't want us to know there was an advanced civilization here in the 1800s, early 1900s, an advanced civilization with tech far beyond what we have now, okay? But they took that all away from us, and they hid it, and they make us think that we're on a spinning ball flying through, a satanic universe.
Well,
this would make a great movie.
Yeah,
yeah, and all of the
okay. So what do you say
of science? These are all made up stories.
Isaac Newton and
they're all made up stories. I don't believe any of them.
Well, there's a lot of questionable things through this, but you're saying that like if we had a war like that, with World War I and II, that was kind of like a great reset. They wanted that to happen so it could erase
all of the wars. What is the best way to take down your enemy? Divide and conquer, right? Divide and conquer.
Yeah.
So it was a one world civilization. So they divided us up by countries, fake countries. They divided us up by religions, sexes, sports teams, politics, masked, unmasked. They divide. Now they're taking the genders, dividing the genders, right? Divide. It's about depopulation and separation. And that's what they're doing. And people are fighting to go along with it. People are just like, yeah, just 2 weeks to flatten the curve, right? And look at us 2 years later. The world is being taken over right out from under our feet, but people don't care because they're spinning through space. Now,
it's kind of like everything's unknown. That's where I'm coming from. On all this, it's unknown. Yes, they're like, and like you said, I agree with you. We are ignorant to the fact of a lot of things. So they use our ignorance. 2 weeks to flatten the curve. They don't know what they're dealing with. And if they did, they're not saying what they're dealing with. They don't want to disrupt things because
That's a
I
whole
guarantee
nother topic.
you, if they came out when this all happened and said, this is what this country did, then everybody would be up in arms about it. But my thing is, I don't know. I mean, with the wars and everything, we stepped in on World War II because of the atrocities that were going on over there.
We funded both sides of the war. What are you kidding me? All of these wars are made up wars where they send people that don't know what's going on to kill other people that don't know what's going on. The elite know that they're not allowed to kill people, so they get order followers to do it. If I convince you to kill your podcast partner, that's on you, not on me.
Oh,
right?
I want to kill him every
I
other
understand. Week. So, but that's how this world
I want
works.
you to kill me every other week.
And they don't want us to know that. So you know the story of Aristophanes, his sticks and shadows, how he figured out the size of the Earth 2,000 years ago? Probably don't even know that story, right?
No, I don't.
It's taught in school that 2,000 years ago, Aristophanes, a mathematician in Greece, noticed that he could see the sun reflecting in the bottom of a well on a certain day of the year, and that he knows that the sun is directly above him. He said, well, what if I get my soldiers to walk 500 miles, measure it out by walking? That's fun. And on the same day, they could put a stick in the ground. I could put a stick in the ground, and we'll see how the shadows are. Well, since sun rays come in parallel because the sun is so far away, which nobody has ever seen, right? So if you look at let me show you this first. So they assume that the sun's 93 million miles away. The sun rays come in essentially parallel, but nobody's ever seen parallel rays. If you go look at the rays coming through clouds, they're never parallel. So why he assumed they were parallel? I'll tell you why he assumed, because he never existed. That is a made-up story. So the story is he's here. The sun rays are coming in. There's no shadow on his stick. His buddy 500 miles away. Same day, there's a shadow. They can measure the length of that shadow, do some math, and figure out the angle to the center of the Earth. And he figured out that he got it within 2%. Carl Sagan brainwashed us all with in Cosmos. And that it was genius. But meanwhile, other mathematicians came out of that area writing book after book after book, never mentioning Aristophanes. That's like writing an anthology of the Chicago Bulls and never mentioning Michael Jordan. Well, on a flat Earth with a local sun, here's Aristophanes, here's his buddy, here's his shadow. You can do the same math and figure out the sphericity of this flat plane. So you can take math and make it do whatever the hell you want. It doesn't mean that you live there.
Yeah, this is interesting. I mean, it's like you said, we get programmed. We get programmed. I know that. We all
absolutely
know that.
Yeah.
We know that from a little, since we're little kids. But I'm not going to say that everything that we've known is, just a terrible thing, or a terrible lie. I mean, yes, I know we've been lied to. Anybody that trusts the government 100% is, I mean, come on. We know that's
I'm going to go a little further. I'm going to say everything is a lie. Everything. I used to think Sully landed the plane on the Hudson River, and I found out that's fake too.
Really?
Okay? Dude, it's unbelievable. Why would they do that? Why would they do that? How would they get away with it? Forget it. They have their reasons. It's part of it is we had a whole series of plane crashes a bunch of years ago, and now people, they don't want people flying in planes anymore. Okay, they want us all grounded, packed into stack and pack cities. You've ever seen the ghost cities in China? They want us all living in these little cells and not having access to the rest of the world, and they're on their way to doing that. So
yeah, but you don't believe it. You don't believe like sometimes there are some sort of miracles like beyond our comprehension.
Sure. And there's stuff that, here's the thing. They can't win if we wake up. We're waking up. I say the success is in our future. There's a lot of people in the flat earth community that says, I hope by the time my kids have kids that the flat earth is common knowledge. I say the flat earth is going to be common knowledge in 2022. Okay? Because it's going so fast right now, unless they turn off the lights everyone's going to know the Earth is flat, right? In the 1950s and 60s, they were teaching flat Earth. Did you know that?
No, I did not know that.
Yeah, they were
I
teaching
think
it.
I'd heard something about that
The
actually.
50s and 60s?
Yeah, in the 60s, then the Rockefellers took over. They took flat Earth out, and that's it. And then NASA came in, and Admiral Byrd went to Antarctica and said he found land beyond the shoreline of Antarctica, bigger than the United States. Untouched land, bigger than the United States, right? So all of a sudden, the Antarctic Treaty is put into place, and all the countries in the world signed on, and nobody can go explore Antarctica. What's going on there?
So we can't agree on what side is right or wrong and who's, if masks are right, but we can all agree, don't go to Antarctica.
Wait. They're in a time where we're having wars for resources, supposedly.
Yeah.
And
No, I'm just
over
questioning.
Land.
I'm sorry.
No. You're absolutely right. You're and
how can we
then,
can agree on other things?
We found land that no one needs to be displaced, filled with resources, right? No environmental issues because there's no animals there.
Yeah.
And then they put it off limits. Go deforest the Amazon, that's fine, but don't touch Antarctica because we need the snow to remain pure, okay? We don't want to disturb the penguins at the shoreline, okay? Meanwhile, during his trip there, I was watching a video recently, and the narrator's going off the front of the ship here is a pod of pilot whales, each one of them containing enough oil to be worth over $2,000, okay? Basically, in this video, they're talking about killing whales for oil, okay? Like it's like, oh, that's such a great thing, so technologically awesome. But meanwhile, the Antarctic Treaty comes in, and then all of a sudden, don't look at Antarctica, look up here, look at the moon. We're going to the moon, right? NASA was created to take our eyes off of Antarctica and make us believe we could live on a ball in space.
We had a question in the chat I wanted to read. Morgan Wellborn, he said, are all the other planets in our solar system flat? Now, what do you think about all the other planets that we've been taught are around us?
Yeah. Great question, except you are mind controlled because you believe that there's planets, right? The only evidence you've seen of planets is from Disney and NASA, right? When you take today's consumer optics and zoom in on Mars, this is Mars. Okay, this is Mars, right? That's what Mars looks like. It's a pulsating orb, okay? When you ask NASA and Disney what it looks like, this is what they give us. But when you use our consumer optics, this is what we see. These things are here within the Earth system. And a lot of people, flat earthers have no problem doing the math on the stuff I'm about to tell you, but Globers haven't been taught to work that way. You know what the inverse square law of light is? The inverse square law of light is every time you double the distance to a light, it's 1/4 of the brightness. Or every time you get halfway to a light, it's 4 times brighter. Because if there was light emanating off this ball at right on the surface, it was 1 lumen, right, all the way around. 1 lumen every square inch is 1 lumen, and then that light goes out to here. Well, now we have a much bigger ball. Well, it can't be 1 lumen because it's only 1 lumen here. It's going to be like 1/4 of a lumen or 1/16 of a lumen, right? And it gets infinitely smaller. Light doesn't travel forever. Like light years, nonsense. Light doesn't travel for years. It doesn't travel far at all, right? So you have to believe. Let's say, you can look up in the sky and you can see Mars and Jupiter. They're in the sky right now, I believe. And they're brighter than any star in the sky. So if you were on Jupiter, according to the helio nonsensical bullshit model, you look at our sun, it's tiny because it's much farther away than we see it from Earth. We see the sun about the size of a nickel held at arm's length. But from Jupiter, it's the size of maybe a slightly large star. You have to believe that slightly large star is lighting up that dusty, dirty, non-reflective surface of Jupiter, and then that light is bouncing back to Earth so bright that it looks brighter than a star. That's absolute insanity, okay? That's absolute ridiculous. And then you say, well, I've seen pictures of Jupiter, right? So how about, is this Jupiter or Mars or what planet is that?
I don't know. It looks like Jupiter to me, but
It does, but it's actually ducks in a meadow because we will see anything that we want to see. That's a little trick I did there.
Oh.
This is ducks in a
that
meadow.
was a dirty trick.
It's
No,
a dirty
I'm joking.
trick. It's a dirty trick.
I'm messing with you.
Okay?
Is that the planet Howard the Duck is from?
It could be. It could be. And then they show us Saturn, this famous picture of Saturn, but they didn't know that we can take it off of their fucking website, put it into Photoshop, crank up the levels, and what do we see? This thing is a crappy cut and paste fake object, right? There's no explaining this away.
Now,
right?
And I'm going to ask you something, and I don't know if you've ever been or anybody else has ever been, and I know it's probably a shock. I know they probably. I want to know your answer.
Go.
Is the Hubble telescope? Have you ever been or know someone that's ever looked through that thing?
So we talked to one of our guys. Talked to the guy that runs the Hubble program, and he admitted he's never gotten a direct feed from the Hubble. It all goes through NASA, and then it comes to him.
Oh, okay.
He never gets to see it. So you have to believe that this friggin' look at this thing. This is a photograph of the fucking Hubble. I say it's a trash can in space. But if you look at this really close, is that a can of Del Monte beans, a soda can wrapped in tinfoil, with a little flap on it, and then some wings from one of those balsa wood, the wheels from one of the balsa wood airplanes that we had as kids that you wound up?
Yeah.
Right? Look at this thing. And then this thing's floating. So this was from like 15 years ago when it first went up, right? But just the other day, they did a repair mission, and they talked about it, and this is the picture they showed. It's the same picture with the same clouds. They couldn't even give us a new picture. They were on a repair mission for this thing.
Yeah.
It's absolute insanity what people will believe.
We're going to go to the audience real quick, the comments here. Let's see. Joey, Dave, is the moon a real thing or a Death Star? I haven't researched, but per podcast I've heard, people have claimed that there's a recorded history of a time when there was no moon.
Well, again, anything before 1900 is a complete lie. So I wouldn't believe anything. But here, I'm going to show you. So is the moon a real thing? So here we got 4 moons.
Yeah.
Is this moon a sphere?
Is it a sphere?
Is it spherical? Is that a sphere? Is that a sphere? So kind of like it's a half sphere. You couldn't really tell. So that one wasn't really fair. How about this one? Is this one a sphere? Is that a sphere?
No, it wasn't now.
Is this one a sphere?
Is that one? I don't know. Yeah.
It looks like a sphere, but if you can't touch it and measure it yourself, it's flat. How about this one? Is this one a sphere?
I don't know.
Getting close. Come on. It's a bowl. Look.
Oh, wow.
Okay. So what I'm saying is when you look, looking up in the sky is no way to prove the shape of the Earth. For example, I'm going to show you an optical illusion, and usually when you show somebody, they go, "Oh, now I see it." You're not going to be able to see it even after I show you. Are these tables the same size and width? Are they the same dimensions?
No.
They're absolutely the same. See this piece of paper? I'm going to move it to the other one. Absolutely the same. Now that I've shown you, can you make it look the same? Can you make it look the same? You can't. Your brain can't figure it out. Optics. Unless you can touch it and measure it, you don't know what the hell you're looking at. Right?
Fair enough.
Another one in the chat. Debunk Flat Earth says that there
the trolls are here.
Any working flat Earth model should make flat earthers pull their heads out of their bums and get a clue. Morgan, thank you so much, sir, for being in the chat. He said he had to leave. I guess he has something to do. And then Joey T said he couldn't tell it's a circle when you were doing your presentation thing there.
Yeah.
So any rebuttal to debunk flat Earth?
The globe map isn't even close to the real map of the Earth. None of it makes any sense. The distances that they show, the size of continents, they're all wrong. This map is very, very close. Let me just show you how the world works, and then you guys can figure it out on your own. So here, if you can see these lines here, this outer yellow line is the Tropic of Capricorn. The inner yellow line is the Tropic of Cancer, and the red line in the middle, which is very faint, is the equator. The sun is the hour hand. Wherever the sun is, it's noon. Okay, right now it's noon in Johannesburg, South Carolina, Johannesburg, Africa. Right, the sun is rising here in America. I'm here on the East Coast. Right, and it's noon on Eastern South America, and it's coming up to noon. It'll be noon right when it's straight down here. So the sun goes around once a day. Right here is the moon. If I speed it up, you'll see that the sun catches up to the moon. It laps the moon every 28 days around. That explains the position of the moon and the phases of the moon every 28 days, right? When it catches up to the moon disappears. That's a whole nother thing to look into. So the sun keeps track of the hours and the days. The moon keeps track of the weeks and the months. And the stars keep track of the seasons and the years. The stars are spinning almost the same speed as the sun, except they're going a tiny bit faster. It takes them 365 times around for them to lap the sun. So right now, the sun is in this constellation. Next month, it'll be in this constellation for the whole month. And then it'll fade back into this one and this one and this one. Here's something you can do. Remember that spiral solar system I showed you? We're corkscrewing through space. All the other stars are going in all their own directions. We're traveling 4.4 billion miles a year. So next year, same night, same time, we're 4.4 billion miles from where we were this year. But you go out tonight, look at the stars in the sky, draw a little pattern, say, okay, got a little map, put an alarm in your calendar. Next year, same night, same time, go out, go to the same spot, look at the stars. They're all in the exact same position. Okay? That's impossible. That is absolutely impossible. And then there, you've heard of, the pyramids line up with Orion's belt, right? So, you ever hear of the Georgia Guidestones? Probably.
No.
You don't know about the Georgia Guidestones?
No.
Where are you guys?
Hey, have you ever heard of the Marfa Lights?
Yeah, they're my favorite.
They are? Okay.
No, I have no idea what they are.
Well, yeah. Okay. Well, then there you go.
I'm just. So in Georgia, and this is actually, they don't want you to know what this is. This monument showed up in 1981, and it's got in like 12 languages, 10 commandments, and the top commandment is never let the world population rise over 500 million again. Okay, wow, what the heck is that about? It's all carved in stone, right? Carved in stone, but in the middle here, there's this tiny little hole, like just a little hole, and if you look through it, what you see is the star Polaris. Polaris is our North Star. Do a time lapse. All of the stars go around, right? So Polaris never moves. Now we're corkscrewing through space, traveling 4.5 billion miles a year. This thing's been up for 4 decades, and Polaris hasn't moved out of that hole. Even in the heliocentric model, they say that Polaris is moving, and it should be out of that hole already. It should be gone. They say in 40,000 years, we're going to have 4,000 years, we're going to have a different North Star. Bullshit. Okay. It hasn't moved. Right. And then there's also, all of these corkscrewing motions that we have. There's this other monument here on November 11th at 11:11 a.m. The sun lines up with all of these holes and shines right down on this little monument, on this little memorial, this war memorial on 11:11 at 11:11. The sun lines up with these holes every year. How is that possible? How is that possible? Unless the Earth is stationary, all of the luminaries in the sky are turning within the Earth system. Let's talk about size for a minute. So they tell us, if this is our sun, how big would the Earth be next to it? Be like a BB, right?
Yeah.
Tiny, right? So if I moved our sun just a mile in the sky, it would fill the entire sky, horizon to horizon. Agreed? Just for modeling purposes.
Sure. Okay.
Right? Yeah. So if it was that close to us, it would cover the whole sky, right? Because we're here, we're a tiny little BB right here, and you look up and all you're going to see is it's going to just fill the sky. Then we move the sun away 93 million miles. Why does it get smaller? Because it's getting farther away. Smaller is farther because of perspective. We all know that. We learned that in school. So 93 million miles is 8 light minutes. The distance light travels in 8 minutes is 93 million miles. That's what they tell us. Okay? This is all heliocentric things. This is easy follow along. They didn't teach you how to think like this. So if I move the sun 8 times farther, that would be about a light hour. 8 times 8 is 64. So 8 times farther is a light hour. How much smaller would it have gotten? Remember, it went from the entire sky to the size of a coin held at arm's length. If I made it 8 times farther, it's scientifically provable that we could not see it. Its angular size would be way smaller than our eye can resolve. And the brightness issue that I explained earlier with the inverse square law, that's going to just be like, how much dimmer could it get? So now Polaris, our North Star, is 48 times bigger than our sun, they tell us, which is absolutely just fucking ridiculous, right? So if Polaris was 48 times farther than our sun at 1 light hour, it would be the same size, which would be invisible to the human eye. Okay? It'd be too small to see. That's 48 hours, so 2 light days away, you could not see Polaris. Scientifically provable that you could not see Polaris at 2 light days away. How far do they tell us Polaris is? They tell us it's 433 light years away. Okay? How many hours are in 433 years? Times that distance. Okay? It's all mind-boggling nonsense. And so here's one more.
Yeah.
The closest star is Alpha Centauri. All of the other stars are way farther away, magnitudes farther. But the closest one is Alpha Centauri. It's only 4.5 light years away. That's right next door cosmically. All right? 4.5 light years. That's 25 trillion miles. That doesn't sound that bad. Our national debt is more than 25 trillion. Okay? 25 trillion miles. Listen to this. Now follow along, and then we're done with the math for the whole day.
Okay.
If you were traveling 1 mile per second and you went for 10 seconds, how many miles have you gone? 10 miles. Very easy. 1 mile per second for 10 seconds, you've gone 10 miles, correct?
Sure.
A mile per second, pretty fast, right? No one's ever gone that fast.
No.
If you went for 1 trillion seconds, how many miles have you gone? 1 trillion miles.
Trillion. Yeah.
1 trillion miles. Okay. So if you went for 1 trillion seconds, you've gone 1 trillion miles. Hey, congratulations. You're 1/25th of the way to the closest star. You with me? Easy, right?
Okay.
Here's a question for you. And if you guess it, I'll give you a Bitcoin. How long in days? No, we'll go years. Make it easy on you. Round off to the nearest year. Is 1 trillion seconds. You get 10 seconds. 1 trillion seconds.
I guess I ain't getting a Bitcoin
Just
today.
Just guess. Just take a stab. Quick stab. Come on. Quick stab.
69.745.
Years. Close. 31,000 years.
Oh,
okay?
man, you almost got it.
Almost. So think about this. You're traveling a mile per second for 31 fucking thousand years, and you're 1/25th of the way to the closest star, and you think our eyes can see that star and the brightness issue that goes along with that, having being quartered and quartered and quartered. Forget it. It's all nonsense. And the numbers are so big and the distances are so far and the math is so confusing that everybody short circuits and goes, well, Bill Nye, the lying guy with the bow tie, and Neil deGrasse, the failed actor, they told me, and they wear lab coats, so it must be true. Okay.
Yeah. I'm with you, Lenny. My head hurts.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. We're not taught to think this way. You know how you get good grades in school? Not that you guys got good grades in school. I'm just saying. Is that you're memorizing and regurgitate.
I just like how you did that, Cody.
Yeah.
I did. I graduated, okay?
If you memorize and regurgitate really, really well, guess what? You get to become the teacher.
Yeah.
To teach the next generation the same bullshit that you just memorized.
Man.
Like history class, you know.
Yeah.
That
there's a lot.
Sense,
there is a lot. Man, I'm telling you, that's a lot to process.
Certainly is.
Flat Earth, Dave. I really appreciate it. I know it's getting kind of late for us, but we kind of do another part of the show where we talk about entertainment news and everything. I've really enjoyed the conversation.
Yeah,
with
it's been fascinating. I didn't know what to expect coming into this, but
listen,
I really enjoyed it.
Today, this is your red pill moment. The question is, what are you going to do with it? You can dismiss it and try to forget it, but you're not, because I've just infected you. I'm like a bad fungus. It's not going away. Okay? Here's the best way to forget about flat Earth. Google, is the Earth flat? And then you'll get all of the psyop nonsense, and you'll be like, oh, this is so stupid. And then you'll be able to sleep like a baby spinning out of control, lost in space, not knowing who they really are.
Yeah.
Or you can get my app. Now, am I here to sell apps? Absolutely yes. Because
everybody's selling everything.
Because it's the best friggin' way to learn about flat Earth. Just here's what I tell people: don't get the app. Just go to the app store and read the reviews, because that'll turn you into a flat earther itself. Every day there's a new video. Right now, this video right here is the one I was talking about. It's called Flatten the Curve. Okay.
All right.
Watch this video. This is all the whistleblowers have come out. From the Navy, from the Air Force. It's unbelievable. It's literally just a couple hours old. The Globe Trolls are having an emergency meeting right now. They're deciding whether they're going to pull the plug on the whole internet. Every day there's a new video there. And what I tell people is, watch the video every day for 2 weeks. I do short ones during the week, except today I preempted it for this 90-minute video.
Okay.
And after 2 weeks, if you still think you have one proof of the globe, just one, I'm offering 3 Bitcoins. But before you do, you have to hit this button. And when you hit it, the question mark up comes, hey, what about eclipses? What about photos of Earth from space? What about seasons? Or what about like ships over the horizon? If I hit that, up comes a playlist of videos that YouTube is hiding. YouTube is hiding these videos. They don't want you to see them. And I'm saying, don't believe anything I'm telling you. I'm just showing you where the information is. Go look at it yourself, and then go do what I did. I bought some equipment. I went out there and started doing tests myself. We can see too far. Okay.
Yeah.
We can see things that should be miles below the curve. Right. It's unbelievable. Watch this video today. Right. This video right here. And if you don't get this the same day, if you hit the web button,
Yeah.
Bottom right, this right here, this flat Earth movies. I think that's the one. If you hit that, it should be at the top of the list. It will be next time somebody looks there. So
it's true.
I'm going to be adding it to that list as soon as we're done here. And the last thing I want to show you on here, if you feel there's also images on here, all sorts of stuff that'll just really give you tons and tons of information. But if you hit the handshake button, what this is, and by the way, the app is $3. That's it. One-time fee. But there is a subscription if you want to send messages to other flat earthers. If you don't get the subscription. You don't need it. Okay. But what this is doing right now, it's loading, and all of these dots are other flat earthers near me. Okay. All of these dots are other flat earthers near me. The orange dots are people that have just joined within the last 60 days. And the other ones are just other flat earthers. So here it comes. Let it load for a second. And if you tap on one of the dots, like I'll tap on one, up comes the person's name, and you can send them a message. I can also send out group messages. Right now, within 50 kilometers, I have 291 people, and I can send a group message. Hey, we're having a meetup on April 2nd in Bayshore, Long Island. I think that's where it is. We're actually having a meetup, and anyone in the area, I highly recommend you come. So it's fun, and people are literally getting married on this thing. People are finding, like, I was on an interview just yesterday. The host said that he met his girlfriend. On the app. So again, an amazing tool, and it's called the Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app by Blue Water Bay. Don't fall for the knockoff fake one that's in the Android store under the same name. It has to be by Blue Water Bay. It has to have this icon. And if you're unsure and you can't scan this QR code, just remember flatearthdave.com. You have my YouTube channel, DITRH. It's all linked there. My interviews channel, where this interview will be. And in the app, there's my interviews are in there. The app is just go read the reviews.
Okay. No, I will share. We'll definitely share that. And I'm very interested in seeing that. And And Dave, I had a wonderful conversation with you. Like I said, I stay open-minded about things, and I didn't want to dismiss you right off the bat. And it's neat to hear everybody's stories.
Don't be so open-minded that your brain falls out. Use your own common sense, right? And just remember this, in the words of Crow 777 Radio, one of the greatest podcasts out there, is belief is the enemy of knowing. Mm-hmm. You guys believe I live in Connecticut in the New York area because that's what I told you, but you don't know it, right? I told it to you. Bill Nye told you that boats go over the curvature of a sphere Earth, and you believed it, but you never verified it yourself because they don't, right? So belief is the enemy of knowing. If you want to know where I live, it's going to take you a little while. You're going to have to go on. You're going to go check me out on Facebook and check, oh, look, you go to Greenwich High School. All right. And then you're going to know. But, and we're, like, you guys seem like cool guys. Anything you tell me, I'm like, I'm going to believe that. That sounds pretty good. I'll believe it because I'm not going to verify everything. But if you want to learn about where you live, and here's the last thing I'll say.
Yeah.
Why the frig does it matter? I don't care the shape of the earth. I still have to go to work tomorrow. That's what people say. If you believe you're spinning out of control, lost in space, if you don't know that you're at the center of creation, if you don't know that your thoughts and words create your reality, that's a fact, then you are wasting tons of energy. You are in a machine with limits. You live in a prison that's a ball, when in reality, maybe there's more land. Maybe there's lots more land. You know that I didn't show you this. I want to show you real quick. This was an old map that was found in Hawaii that showed a Japanese map that showed like 30 more continents outside here. We live here. This ring is Antarctica. This is all. And then out here are other oceans. This is all ocean. And these are all continents, right? What if the world was set up something like this? We live here. Out here in this outer space are more land, extra territory, extraterrestrials in outer space. Right across the Earth plane.
Like I said, this would make such an awesome movie.
Well, how about this? It's reality. You don't need it to be a movie, right? It's there. Yeah. But by the way, find the video, okay? It's called not Behind the Curve. That's a Netflix mockumentary. This is called Flatten the Curve, just like they said with this nonsense that's going around for the last 2 years. Flatten the Curve. It's a great movie. And that's all I got to say about that. FlatEarthDave.com. You can find everything there, right? Going to the app, if it's not today or tomorrow, next to the featured video, there's a little archive button, and you can find all the videos that were on the app, including the one I'm talking about.
Well, man, again, Dave, thank you, Flat Earth Dave, for coming out and talking to us. And really, I find this very interesting, and I'll be looking more into it.
All right, guys.
But you're welcome back anytime, man. Reach out to us.
Absolutely.
I mean, we're here, and we love talking to people. So,
right,
thank you very much, and I hope you get your voice back. Hope you feel better.
I feel terrific. Send me the link to the YouTube video, right? And I'll share it. I'll put it on the app right away.
All right, man. I appreciate it.
All right. We'll see you around.
See you.
We'll
bye-bye.
Yep. See you around. No, that was interesting. I didn't want to come in and I felt like he was kind of like on the defense already.
Oh yeah, well, like he has to do that, but yeah, he was very well presented.